What's up everybody? We're going to replace the battery for a PlayStation Vita 1000 OLED version. The first thing you're going to want to do is make sure there's no game cartridges in the slot. And we got Gravity Rush in there. And you want to make sure the memory card is out as well. And it looks like we get a 16 gig card in there. Fantastic. Now that we took out the game and memory card, we have 8 screws that we need to remove. 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, and 4 on the back. And I'm using a 000 screwdriver to remove all these screws. This should be the only tip you need. So the first 2 screws are going to be underneath this accessory port cover right here. Both of these. Remove these. Now that those are removed, you can seal this back up. Let's flip it over. We're going to move the 2 bottom screws here and here. Now that those 2 are gone, we're going to move the back screws. The back screws are here, 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 and here. And once those 4 are removed, you can get into the PlayStation Vita. We removed all 4 screws. We're going to use a pry tool and pry around the PlayStation Vita. Before you start prying around your PlayStation Vita, there is some ribbon cables on the bottom half. You got one going to your touchpad and then one going to your battery that's attached to the back panel. So what I like to do is start at the top first and kind of break it open. You can tell this is kind of easy. I've done it before on this PlayStation Vita. And then I work my way to the bottom and kind of pry it open. Do not go in too deep. If you do that, you could cut the ribbon cables. Just be very careful. Take your time and it'll just nicely pop right off. Fantastic. Alright, we're going to open it up from the top so you can kind of see the battery and ribbon cable. So we get the battery and ribbon cable right here. So what you can do, take your pry bar tool and go right underneath that top lip of the ribbon cable. Just push up. It pops right out. There's no clips, no nothing. It just slides right in there. For the battery cable, it's the same thing. You can go from behind and just pry up. I like to put my finger on top of the cables, pop it off. We do not need this half anymore. We're only now working with the back touch plate. So what we can do first, there is a cover here for your power cable. What I like to do is take my spudger tool and put it right above the cables. You gotta be very careful by doing this, but you can pry up and it should pop up this cover. Be very careful. There is a clip here that can snap. So what I usually do is I go about this far. I leave it. You can pry here and take it off on that side, but I tend to not want to break and snap the thing. But you can take your cable and move it around that cover. These are the last 2 screws we'll need to remove. Now that those 2 screws are removed, you can remove this safety plate here. And now the battery is safe to remove. You can work your way through there. Bam. Super easy. So I bought a Ifixit battery to replace my old one. So hopefully these Ifixit batteries are pretty decent. So you're going to work your power cable exactly like it was. Remove the other battery. Just pull it through. Be careful. Nice. Now it fits in there. So next you wanted to lift up your cover and kind of just line it up back underneath there. And nice. Clamp it back down. Looks perfect. Make sure it's facing downwards so it'll go into the PlayStation Vita power port. Now we can take our bar again, put it there above your battery, and then get your 2 battery screws. Mine are kind of a blue color, so that's how you can tell that those are for the battery cover. Now we got the 2 batteries back in place. We got the cover bar here, perfect. Cable still looks good. There is the 2 trigger cables. These should be fine, they shouldn't pop out. But just be careful of these plastic pieces here. They can pop off and then you have a little bit of a hard time putting it back on. But honestly, it's pretty simple. They're self-explanatory. They kind of just have a certain way they fit in there. There's only one way for them to fit on there. We're going to plug in our ports. Nice. So there's the power port. So we put the power port in. We're going to put the touchpad port in. Close it back up. Make sure you don't pinch the ribbon cables. And that's it. We're going to put in our top screws. As you can see, we got our top screws in. We can seal this back up. We want to flip it back over and put in our 2 bottom screws. Perfect. And then we have our 4 back screws that we need to put back in. Fantastic. We got all 4 screws back in their holes where they should be. We got our 2 top screws and our 2 bottom screws back in there. Let's put our game back in. We'll give it a quick test here and see if it turns on, and it looks like it does. Fantastic. We'll do what it says on the back of the Ifixit by charging the battery to 100% and then for 2 extra hours. So we'll see how well this battery works, and I'll put in the comments below how long it lasts compared to the old one. Alright, thanks a lot. Stay safe, stay retro. Hopefully you find the games you're looking for. See ya.